Hello, and welcome to episode number 12 of WrestleRotica, perhaps the world's only podcast that combines erotica and wrestling. This week, as with every other week, we have two stories for you. The first story is entitled, Natty Likes Them Big, and it stars Natalya Neidhart and Dolph Ziggler. The second story is called, The Darkest Side of Me, and it features Ted DiBiase and The Miz. Without further ado, let's get to this week's stories. This story is entitled, Natty Likes Them Big, and it is written by user Rolodex. You see, Sheamus, you might be 6'4" and almost 270 pounds, but deep inside your mayonnaise frame is nothing more than a little redhead who's all afraid her never be in the main event again. For all your talk, you've done nothing but get embarrassed since you've returned. I may not speak softly, but I carry a big stick, and you'll be staring at this big stick and the ring lights tonight, brother. It's just too bad I'm too good. The red light turns off, signaling that the promo session has concluded for Mr. Ziggler. In a few hours, he'll be going one-on-one with Sheamus on SmackDown. Even though the show doesn't start for an extended period, Dolph is partially in his standard attire. Wearing acid-wash jeans and his signature denim vest, Ziggler is looking shredded as his well-defined upper body is practically on full display. Other than the cameraman, there is only one other soul in the area, and the soul is enclosed within the thick, curvy frame of Miss Natalya Neidhart. Natty is dressed in her now standard dominatrix ensemble. The tight sleeveless charcoal colored bodysuit has ruffled sleeves that don't run past the shoulder. The magenta trim matches her boldly colored hair and runs down her legs. En route to her slick black boots, sheer material is also incorporated, sexily exposing flashes of her luscious thighs. The sheer peeking above her waist also makes certain of one fact: Natalya isn't wearing any sort of panties. The zipper of Natalya's bodysuit can reach the peak of the femme fatale's sternum, but hits a huge pair of roadblocks before it can even consider the intended destination. Ay, caramba! Nat's black push-up bra is laden with a shiny, metallic design, and is engineered to contain the swollen spears that make up her chest. The tasty torpedoes overwhelm the dazzling bra and fight for liberation with every sense of movement, leaving a plethora of cleavage as collateral damage. Seated at a table near the filming area, Natalya is biding her time to shoot her promo by going over her lines and taking a selfie every few minutes or so. Even amongst all the potential distractions, Natty can't help but bite her bottom lip as Ziggler cuts his promo. Having been in the wrestling business all her life and watched as family members earn their place in wrestling history, it's safe to say that Natalya knows a start when she sees one.
When you wish upon a star.
As the big-breasted diva adjusts her ponytailed hair for the xth time, she knows that Dolph has the potential to be a consistent main eventer. Potential only goes so far, though, as Natty knows via her husband, whom is resting at home. Nat gets anxiously excited as she ponders whether or not Dolph has it, if he does have a big stick that can carry the heaviest gold in the business. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The vibrations of the cameraman's cell phone as it rocks against the table interrupts Natalya's rhetorical thoughts. The camera quickly answers his phone, replying to a loud, inaudible voice, with mainly yes sirs before hanging up. The production worker hastily returns to Natalya before explaining the bad news. Miss Neidhart, we're going to have to shoot your promo later. Mr. Wyatt just arrived, and we're going to have to work on his segment for tonight. McMahon wants me on scene ASAP. Without waiting for a rebuttal, the worker grabs his belongings before racing toward the exit. With Ziggler and Neidhart the only two in the room, Dolph tries to comfort his coworker. I guess they're saving the best for later, Natty. Ziggler grabs his Beats by Dre's headphones and places them around his head before exclaiming, I'll see you around then. Good luck in your match tonight. Overcome with anxiousness as she sees Dolph heading toward the door, Natalya hurriedly blurts out a question for Mr. Ziggler. Hey Dolph, is it true what you said a little while ago? Of course it's true, Natty. I have a large tendency of speaking loudly. Ziggler sarcastically replies before turning around and laughing. Natalya giggles for a moment before licking her lips and approaching her pair. Natalya nods her head before getting face to face with the show-off. No, I don't mean that. Do you carry a big stick? The Heart Dungeon diva asks, as she pulls out a pair of Dolph's belt loops, pulling the jeans of Dolph away from his waist. Ziggler breaks a grin before nodding and happily replying, Hell yeah, I carry a big stick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not the show-off for nothing, Nat. Natalya gazes at the heavyweight before her, taking in Dolph's reply, before answering with a rebuttal. Well, for someone who calls himself a show-off, don't you think you should be showing more? I, for one, would love to see if you're all talk, or really have main event talent. Natalya grabs at Ziggler's denim vest before pushing it down his shoulders to completely expose his well-defined arms, chest, and abs. Dolph pushes a step in reverse, a bit taken aback. Hey, not that I'm not used to this, but aren't you married? Natalya continues to lick her lips enjoying the view in front of her before stating, "Yeah, but I didn't know I was going to be stuck with a mid-card cruiserweight. He isn't a main eventing heavyweight like you, Dolph. Besides, he's not here to stop me, so fuck him and his little stick." "Well, Cesaro better not come at me," Ziggler mentions, before letting his vest drop to the floor. Natty quickly replies as she yanks Ziggler closer via his jeans. "Well then, you better come on me." Natalya pulls her bulky shoulder straps down, completely exposing her shiny bra and mouth-watering melons. Pressing chest to chest, the two connect lips before each tongue glides into the opposing mouth. As the two begin to sloppily make out, Ziggler can't help but grab at the lower skin anvils of Natalya. The slobbering contest of tongues leads the duo to leaning against a table filled with high-grade production equipment. Natty begins to sit on the table, but her thick, bubbly ass is soon poked by a sharp edge of a camera. Pissed at the attempted piercing, Natalya breaks from the kissing to turn and push all the gear off the table. The production crew will not be happy to see their expensive technology in pieces on the floor. "Fuck 'em," states Natalya, as she is wrapped around wood. Ziggler slips the tongue one more time before descending to Natalya's large hearts. Dolph covers his face with the cleavage before licking the exposed portion of Nat's chest. Dolph grabs at the loose strap of Natty's bodysuit, gripping the ends as he kisses at the firm stomach of his fan, eventually reaching the steel-veiled portion of Natalya's body. Ziggler begins to yank the tight suit down, exposing her plump, juicy pussy that is completely shaven, sends a small, thin patch of pubic hair that forms a filled-in heart. Ziggler nods in approval before pushing the itchy bodysuit down to Natalya's ankles. Natty quickly kicks the one piece off, leaving her lower body completely exposed. The show stealer presses against the hips of the Anvilette, suggesting to her that she sit on the table. Natalya concurs with the suggestion, slipping her fingers into her tight, wet slit before pulling them out and garnering a quick taste.
This is a tasty burger.
After sampling her flavorful juices, Nat sits atop the table and spreads her legs to almost a 180-degree angle. Dolph rushes toward the heart-shaped box, before giving a long, slow lick to Natalya's lips. Natty uses her slippery fingers to spread her pussy open before Ziggler inserts his unwavering tongue. "Ah! Ah! Fuck!" Nat moans as she pulls in her thick legs and lays them on top of Dolph's shoulders. Utilizing her lower body strength, Natalya pushes Dolph even closer to pussy, further jamming his tongue into her succulent cut. Natalya undoes her useless bra before tossing it away from the party. Squeezing at her enormous tits, her body is permeated with pleasure, causing her to vocally celebrate with, "Oh, fuck yeah, baby! Lick that fucking pussy! Lick it, motherfucker!" The verbal cries only further motivates Dolph, who picks up the pace of his tongue as it wrecks the walls of Natalya's pussy. Natalya grabs Ziggler's shiny head of hair with both hands before pulling it even closer to her now soaked pussy. "Eat it, motherfucker! Oh yes! Oh! As more juices wash towards Ziggler's face, Natalya begins to straddle even further forward after each lick. The talented tongue becomes too much for our big-breasted protagonist as she yells, "Fuck! I'm coming!" Before Natalya's nectar can drip to the floor, Dolph licks it all up as Natalya's lower body autonomously shivers in delight. Dolph stands from his kneel in order to lean and make out with Natalya. Natty enjoys her nectar's flavor every bit as much as Dolph does, as the two lick each other's lips in order to make sure not a single drop Canadian cream went unconsumed. Natalya pushes herself off the table before grabbing Dolph by the front of his jeans and leaning him against the table. Pressing her big breast against her man's bulge, Natty kisses just below the hill's belly button. Speaking of button, Natalya is quick to undo the jean button, grabbing at the zipper before excitedly stating, "Now, let's see if you're all talk, or if you really carry a big fucking stick." Natalya quickly undoes the zipper and is pleasantly surprised by a lack of underwear and the introduction of the big stick that Ziggler spoke loudly about. Natty avariciously pushes down the jeans of Ziggler and yanks them off before concentrating fully on the mammoth member. Barely able to put her hands around the piece, Nat stares at the big, hard cock before nodding in approval. "If it were up to me, I'd fire every motherfucker who doesn't carry a big fucking stick. They could end up homeless for all the fucks I give. Tyson included. Survival of the fucking biggest." Wasting no more breath on conversation, Natalya wraps her lips around the tip of the dick before spitting on the cock to further lather it. Jerking it to further its inflation, Natalya follows through by bobbing up and down the dick with the inside of her mouth, slurping on it with complete joy, licking and sucking on the cock. Natalya asks between strokes and slobbers, You like how I suck your dick, baby? Natty continues to struggle with the large member, not even getting her mouth past the halfway point, but still enjoying each attempt. Dolph's dick covered in saliva, Natty uses the added lubrication to stroke his cock at an even faster rate, tapping it against her big tits to make certain that this isn't her imagination. Fuck! You taste so good, but now I want this big fucking dick inside me. Natty hops on the table once again, this time laying completely back, her legs spread and pussy quenching cock. Grabbing her big tits, Natalya pulls her big breasts up towards her chin before giving each skin balloon a flick. Not lacking in inspiration, Dolph grabs his show stiller before trying to pack the thick shaft into Natalya's tight pussy. Damn, Nat, you're tight, says Dolph as he struggles to get past the lips of Natty's luscious cunt. That's what I get for fucking around with men who will never be world champion. Ziggler pulls in a leg of Natty before lifting and resting it against his shoulder. Trying his best to loosen the pussy, Dolph spits on his fingers before sliding them in to Natalya's pussy. Working his hand to create real estate, Ziggler eventually feels comfortable enough to attempt to insert his title contending cock. Slowly, going inch by fucking inch, Ziggler is able to insert most of his dick into Natalya, who can barely keep her eyes open as she moans and gropes herself. Oh! Oh yeah! Oh fuck yeah, champ! Give it to me! Ziggler thrusts and fucks the cunt, causing Natalya's big tits to bounce as she moans, "Oh fuck! Oh shit! Give me that fucking dick!" Each thrust becomes faster than the last, as the juices of Natty keep the dick well lubricated. Natty pushes off the table, lifting herself up to get a better angle on the cock and get more tongue action. The two slobber their tongues as Ziggler continues to tear at Natalya's pussy. The gliding cock becomes too slippery as it falls out of the pussy, forcing Ziggler to reinsert his homing missile. Before he can, though, Natalya pushes Ziggler back before turning onto her stomach. Dolph wipes away the excess juices off his dick by slapping his swollen shaft against the rotund cheeks of the Heart Dungeon diva, clawing one hand into a mouth-watering mat of ass before using the other to guide his baseball bat into the Canadian cunt. Pushing in and out from behind, Natty can only grip the table as she tries to maintain her composure. She doesn't, though, as she soon after exclaims, "Oh fuck! I can't believe it fits into my thigh! Oh fuck! Oh!" The slap in his skin continues as Natalya's ass jiggles with every punch. "Oh fuck yes! Oh fuck!" Natty yells as her pussy continues to get hammered doggy style. Natalya continues to grind on the dick as the thrust grows in speed and in force. "Oh fuck! Oh! Fuck me! Pound that pussy!" moans Nat as Ziggler slaps the ass of Natty until it grows red. The fucking thrusts seem endless, making Natalya's pussy quake. Nat's whole body trembles as she exclaims, "Oh fuck! You make me come so hard!" Natty's nectar coats Dolph's dick, forcing the show-off to pull out and wipe away the excess cum on Natalya's bubble butt. A little dazed from the pounding her pussy has taken, Natalya still thrusts for more. "You better not come yet! I need one more fucking go!" Natalya slips her hand against her heart-haired pussy to scoop up some of her sauce, licking the cream of her hand as she props up to her feet. Shoving Zig's chest, Natty orders, "Lay the fuck down!" Ziggler swiftly follows command, leaving him flat against the table. Well, most of him. With his cock pointed straight towards the ceiling, Natalya mounts the heavyweight schlong with her back turned to Ziggler, her thick hips doing all the grunt work. Natty just simply grunts, "Ah, yes! Make me fucking go again!" as she taps her pussy with her tits bounce in a hypnotizing manner. The force of the fuck coerces Natty to fall backward, but Ziggler will not allow it, as he pushes her back to a squat. Ziggler sits up as well, squeezing on the big tits, as Natty goes up and fucking down, sliding on the dick like there were no tomorrow. The constant churning of cunt against cock is no match for Natalya, who screams in gratification, "Oh fuck! Oh shit! I'm coming!" Again, the creamy juices of Natalya froth against Dolph's big dick. Natty's whole body trembles as she almost loses her balance. Being a heart, Natty toughs it out to the end, jumping off the dick and stumbling to a kneel. Even after emptying her contents, Natty is still aggressive towards the main event level fuckstick. "Oh fuck, Dolph! You better give me a huge fucking load!" yells Natalya, as she slithers the heavyweight member between her equally formidable tits. The tit fucking results in the tip of Dolph poking at Natty's chin with every glide's conclusion. Every champion knows when to bring it home, though, and Dolph wants nothing more than to leave the crowd happy. Pulling away from the big tits, Ziggler yanks at his show stiller before a flood overwhelms his cock and exits onto Natalya's big fucking tits. Even as rope after fucking rope of championship cum splatters onto Natalya's chest, Ziggler keeps stroking, showing off that he can produce a heavyweight size load. Before Dolph's balls are drained, Natalya's breasts almost look like snowballs, with so much cum on them. Satisfied with the blizzard of baby batter, Natty rubs some of the cum into her skin, while lifting her tits to devour any pudding that is left. Natalya nods in approval before complimenting her partner. Fuck, Dolph! You have quite the dick. You better not tell the boys, though. I don't want Tyson finding out. Dolph smirks before replying, fuck Tyson. You go and tell Tyson that it's too bad. I'm too big. The end.
I'm here to show the world. I'm here to show the world. Bring it on. What I say, better watch what I do.
This story is called Darker Side of Me, and it is written by fanfiction.net user Legacy Chick. Mike was glad to finally be back in their hotel room. The show had been exhausting. In fact, the whole day had been, and all he wanted was some peace and quiet. Sadly enough, Ted kept pacing back and forth in their shared four walls, mumbling to himself, muttering about how unfair Creative was to let Mike lose yet another match while he was still such great championship material. Ted, darling, will you calm the fuck down, please? Mike's usually chiming, happy voice, now a low, frustrated growl, caught the younger man off guard, and he stopped his pacing, standing still to turn around towards his lover, eyes widening a little, bottom lip tucked in between his teeth, cheeks still flushed from talking himself into rage. Sorry, I can't be... Baby, shut up, will you? He really was annoyed by now. The stress, the matches, the shows, the hot weather the past days. All of it had made him tired beyond belief. And if he was tired, he was pissy. And Ted knew that. He just had not seen his brunette lover like that in a long while. Come over here, baby, please. Mike patted the spot next to him on the bed, sighing as he saw Ted hesitating, knowing that his bad temper probably had scared the blonde a little. While he loved Ted with all of his heart, loved the soft part of his younger lover, the caring and sensitive nature, their sweet lovemaking, he sometimes just needed to get a little rough, to let out his frustrations. Let his desires take over. Ted never understood this, never really accepted the fact that the brunette had that dark side in him, the one that needed to snap every now and then, the one that wanted to get a little rougher in their games, the one that often had asked to use some toys. It just was not his world, and he could not grasp how someone could actually get off by using violence of any kind. Teddy, please. I won't bite you. Just come here, okay? Seeing the walls tremble, Ted's hesitation slowly fading, Mike let a soft smile grace his lips, patting the sheets once again, watching his lover through hooded eyes as he finally made his way back over to him. Stopping at the edge of the bed in front of Mike, Ted raked a hand through his hair and let out a shaky sigh, head moving from left to right. You know, I hate it when you're frustrated and... Grabbing Ted's hands in his, the older man smiled up at him, squeezing a little as his dark eyes filled with love. I know, baby, but I'm just tired, okay? I don't need you bitching and whining all night long when all I want is some sleep. All you want? Seeing the gleam of lust in those blue eyes, hearing the hint of seduction in Ted's voice, Mike could not help but smirk cockily up at him, running his tongue along his upper lip as he tilted his head slightly to the left, gray eyes sparkling in the dim light of the room. Maybe I have a little power left in me, but... Voice drifting off, the brunette lowered his head, taking a deep breath as Ted watched him curiously, tugging at his hands. But what? Mike just shrugged, looking back up, gray eyes having a soft tune of sadness in them as he pursed his lips. Forget it, Teddy. I don't want another fight again. Arching a brow, Ted let go of a long sigh, before climbing onto Mike's laps and freeing his hands to bring them to the brunette's cheeks, cupping them gently so his lover had no other choice than to look at him. The blonde's lips curled up in a soft smile. It's about... getting rough again, huh? Using a toy or two? Fucking me into oblivion as you always put it. He watched Mike's head move up and down in a nod, eyes closing for a second before looking back at the blonde. They had had that conversation that often already in those 6 months of the relationship, that Ted had actually lost track of it. It was not that he did not want a little roughness, or that he was scared of it. He just never saw a need in it. It just was not him. But maybe, if it would make his lover happy, or at least happier, he could try it. What do you want, Mikey? Now it was the brunette's turn to arch his brows, eyes shimmering with a hint of curiosity, arms snaking around his younger man's waist, and cupping his ass as his tongue snaked out to wet his lips. You mean, you would? A nod followed by a short sigh, and a shrug of his shoulders made Mike's smile grow, hips involuntarily bucking up against Ted's jeans-covered groin, low growl escaping his throat. If it means that much to you, and if it calms you, yeah.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
The appreciating purr he got from the older man turned him on more than wanted, the friction of their covered cocks running against each other already having some effect on him. The blonde biting on his lip to suppress the moan, waiting to escape as Mike squeezed his cheeks hard, raking his neck to brush his lips over those of his younger lover. You've no idea how much it means to me, darling. I'm gonna fuck you so hard tonight that you'll see stars, that you won't be able to walk for days. I'll use something special on you, my teddy bear, and it'll feel so good that next time we go at it, you'll be begging for it. Those nasty things, those dirty words, did things to his mind that were not PG. Eyes fluttering shut, low moan escaping his throat as his head rolled back. Mike's lips moving over his sensitive skin, barely touching, tongue darting out to lick a stripe up from his neck, over his throat to his ear, giving it a hard tug with his teeth. I'll fuck you so good, Teddy, you won't regret it. I'll make you beg. I'll make you sweat. And dear Lord, I'll make you scream for more. And scream he did, from the first tentative lick his cock received. Until he was fully engulfed by the hot, wet mouth of his older lover. Ted let go of screams of pleasure, cries of ecstasy. It was a bare treat for him to have his lover on his knees, head bopping up and down in his lap, hands tightly holding onto his thighs. Usually Ted was the one giving head, and thus he was enjoying each and every second of it. Hands fisting the brunette's hairs, eyes shut tight, lips tightly pressed together, and head thrown back. He felt Mike taking him all the way down until he hit the back of his throat. Teeth scratching his sensitive flesh, nibbling and sucking the head, licking and swallowing around the base. So lost in pleasure, and the throes of ecstasy, he did not even realize the wicked grin spreading on Mike's flushed face. The older male's eyes blown with lust, blown with desire already, as he watched his lover's head thrashing from left to right, listened to the sinful sounds escaping those plump lips, the moans and screams, the mewls and growls. He was not a fan of giving head, but for what the brunette had planned, he needed his lover to relax, to forget his doubts, to be lost in satisfaction. Continuing his ministrations for minutes, his hands traveled to the inside of the blonde's thighs, fondling his balls, feeling them get harder and bigger with each passing minute, until the point where he knew that Ted would explode any moment. Fuck! Mike! So close! I'm so... God, And just in that moment, Mike pulled away, releasing the pulsing length with a loud pop, only to receive a loud, disappointing grunt from his young lover, as he let his head fall back down into the pillow. Don't pout, baby. I've still so many things planned out for you. Wouldn't want all your energy gone already now, would you? Already licking a stripe up Ted's body, collecting the fine sheen of sweat on the blonde's chest with his tongue. His eyes stayed fixed on the contorted face of the beauty, waiting for the answer, for a reaction. A content sigh escaping the lips made Mike smirk, teeth gently nibbling on one of his nubs, before biting down hard. Ted's back arching off the bed, still rock-hard erection poking his chest, while his arm reached out for the drawer. Seeing that they stayed at the hotel for 2 nights, he had actually had the hope that exactly this would happen, that he would finally get his chance to introduce the younger man to the wonder of his own cravings. And not wanting to waste precious time, he had stuffed what he needed right into the nightstand after they had arrived this morning. Ted's eyes shot open as he heard the shuffling, as he felt his lover shifting around on the bed, head snapping to his side just in time to see Mike pulling out the toy he was looking for. A gasp alerted the brunette that Ted had discovered his plan, and he licked his dry lips wet before turning to face his lover with a soft smile, placing a kiss to his lips, murmuring, "It's thinner than me, babe, but it'll make you feel real good. Just relax." Covered in lube, the vibrator slowly and easily slid inside, Ted biting harshly onto his lips at the uncommon intrusion, the stinging pain shooting through him as it went past the tight ring of muscles in one go, back arching off the bed in an attempt to get away. It wasn't Mike, it wasn't human, it was cold, sharp metal, and from his first impression, it would not be able to give him any pleasure at all. At least, that was what the blonde thought before Mike turned it on. Soft vibrations shooting through his whole body, an involuntarily moan escaping his lips. Eyes fluttering shut, Ted pressed back, down onto the toy, trying to get it further inside of him, the new feeling heavenly. The brunette watched the changing expressions of his lover, with a smirk plastered on his face, pushing the vibrator in and out of Ted at a slow pace, the vibrations on low to get him used to it. Shit! Mike! Feels good! Yeah? Yeah! Oh! Voice turning from a low, husky whisper into a surprised blue cry. Ted's eyes shot open, the quickening vibrations making his whole body tingle and tremble. Gaze drifting to his lover, laying next to him, licking his lips, one hand working the toy in and out of the tight heat, while his other hand was slowly pumping up and down his own throbbing erection. Harder, Mike! Please! Faster! Feels so good! Brainerd mushed, Ted tried to find words of encouragement. Words to describe how he felt, but was barely able to form anything coherent. Eyes glued to Mike fisting himself, while his mind tried to concentrate on the sensations going through his own body. Twirling the vibrator in his hand, readjusting the angle, Mike drove in harder, faster, deeper, even. The tip brushing the blonde's prostate at one particular thrust. Ted's eyes almost bulging out of his head. Holy shit! Again! Please, Mike, do that again! His hands were frantically trying to clutch anything in place. Anything to help him get a grip. One tugging at Mike's wrist to up his tempo, to ram the vibrator deeper inside of his own velvety walls. But the brunette had other plans, turning the beads off and roughly yanking the toy out of his lover, gaining not only a gasp, but also a pained whimper from those soft, full lips. I've got something much, much better for you, teddy bear. Something that'll make you stretch and burn. That'll make you scream so fucking hard. Something that'll make you tear.
What?
Before Ted could even react, Mike was back on top of him, throwing one of the blonde's legs over his shoulder and ramming inside of the already abused hole, hands fisting the sheets on either side of Ted's head. The blonde's cry of pain and agony was drowned out by the almost unearthly groan spilling from Mike's lips as his dick sunk into the hilt until his balls rested against the firm curves of Ted's ass. He had not been able to wait any longer. Those sinful explicits escaping Ted's throat, those heavenly pleased features of the younger man, his own cock throbbing so hard with need, he just had to have him then. Not giving the blonde any time to adjust, Mike started a rough, hard pace. In a matter of seconds, pearls of sweat forming on his forehead, not only to his own, but also to Ted's surprise. The younger man's screams and gasps soon turning into moans and murals as he started to beg for more, starting to plead for Mike to take him harder. Grabbing the headboard with one hand, Mike powered into him even harder, bed creaking underneath him, headboard banging against the wall, the air filling with noise of sin and lust. Loud groans, whimpers, cries, moans echoing around. Ted would have never thought that something that rough, that dirty, that violent could turn him on, but being so thoroughly filled by his lover, seeing the lust and pleasure in his clouded eyes, the satisfaction it brought the brunette, his own body thrummed in ecstasy at the show of affection, of pure need and animalistic cravings. Mike! Hand! Please! So close! Need to fuck! Hand! Instead of giving into the blonde's pleas, Mike's free hand came up to wrap around Ted's throat, choking him, carefully not to put too much pressure on the sensitive flesh, but still enough to cut off Ted's air supply. The younger man's eyes widening as he gasped in pain, the added sensation, mind spinning in a whirlwind, pupils rolling back in his head. Ted let go of a string of curses, coughing, choking on his own saliva, body spasming out of control as he came hard all over their chest. Body spent, limp, shuddering through his release, Ted's eyes closed. A loud gasp escaping his plump lips as Mike let go of his throat, followed by a satisfied sigh as he fell back into the mattress, pulling out as soon as he felt those hot walls tightening, convulsing around him. The brunette rolled his younger lover onto his stomach, roughly yanking his hips up into a kneeling position before plunging back inside and placing his hands back on the headboard for better leverage. Ted let Mike take him for all he was worth, not only because he was too exhausted, too spent, to do anything else, but to submit, but also because he enjoyed being taken like that. The brunette's ball slapping against his ass as he drove into him again and again. Harder and harder, faster and faster, as deep as the thick, pulsing length would go. His back already aching, legs weak, head pressed into the pillow, his breath hitched as he felt Mike's pace become frantic, thrust shaking the bed, and the older man let go, scream muffled by biting into Ted's shoulders as his hips bucked widely into the younger man's ass, milking himself dry. Exhausted, bent, lids fluttering shut, Mike's chest collapsed onto Ted's back, arms trembling at his sides, lips placing kisses all over the blonde's shoulders and neck as he whimpered softly, his release slowly subsiding, heartbeat slowly returning back to normal, sweat-covered body heaving. Not able to brace both their weights anymore, Ted's arms gave away underneath of him, both their bodies connecting with the mattress in a loud thump. Ted groaning softly as he felt Mike's limp cock slipping out of his abused hole, finger carefully, slowly sliding inside to massage his walls. Ignoring the pain hissed from his young lover, Mike started to pepper his cheek with kisses, going down to his shoulder and back up to his neck, his ear, whispering a small, "Thank you," before withdrawing his finger again, a mix of his own cum and small amounts of blood coating it. For what? Ted's still hooded eyes searched for the gray waters of his lover, cheeks flushed, lids heavy, lips parted to accept the older man's digit, tongue darting out to lap at it before sucking it inside the warm caverns of his mouth, licking it clean, for enjoying it. as much as I did. The end. Thank you for listening to yet another thrilling and perhaps titillating episode of Russell Erotica. As always, please be sure to like us and follow us on Facebook, Stitcher, Player.fm, iTunes, Facebook, Instagram, basically anywhere you can think of. We're probably under it at Russell Erotica, or follow us on our official website, RussellEroticaPod.com. Thank you and have a good week.